Hi, welcome to Solo Playing Tips. So this one's all about dungeon dressing. So I had an email this week, end of last week maybe, from Raging Swan about dungeon dressing, and so this is the email, and it goes on about dungeon dressing is something that Raging Swan do in great detail, and they had this article called "Dungeon Dressing Explained," and of course I clicked through to it, and is a very, very brief, but very good description of what dungeon dressing is. And so here you go. Dungeon dressing is the art of adding small, evocative details and minor points of interest to your dungeons. So there's a little bit, about why to do it. And then there's this example. So a set of double doors stand at the top of a short flight of stone steps, and there indeed is a set of double doors at the top of the steps. The dressed version is slightly longer. A set of 15-foot tall stone double doors, replete with hideous and ornate skeletal carvings, stand atop a short flight of stone steps. The skeleton, one hand outstretched towards the doors, lights upon the steps. Magical light blazes from torches flanking the doors, and a horned winged skull surmounts the whole. So it now looks like this. Now, the point is, as they say here, is to make the whole thing feel more alive. It gives you something that you could possibly investigate. People may want to check out the skeleton, or your character may want to check out the skeleton. They may want to interpret some of the symbols, or imply some meaning from the designs. What's nice for us? Not now these. I think they all came from the the Dread thingy omicron. I can't even say it. This book. Now, I got this book recently from a bundle of holding. They Raging Swan ran a bundle of holding, and if we go, I'm just going to kind of show you a few um, bits of it. Uh, okay, yeah. So there is a patron for Raging Swan, um, and where this falls in with the tips. This isn't an advert for Raging Swan. I've got no association with them at all. But sorry, that's taking too long. Let's skip down a bit. Right. So let's go to crypts and catacombs. And what you get are basically there's mostly D20 tables. There's some D6 tables, D12s and things. If you were exploring a crypt or catacomb, you could roll on a few of the or roll on one of the once on each table, but kind of grab something. Let's say strange patterns in the dust and the floor could be indicative of occasional breeze entering the crypt, or some slight crevice. Alternatively, they could provide a clue to the presence of undead guardian or resident. Now, if you've written that down, you've written it down. That's a fact you didn't have to create. So this is coming from outside of you. It's another input to your solo game. Maybe later on you roll on the sarcophagus graffiti. You find a sarcophagus, you add a detail to this. And let's say you roll an 11, just beware of the bone crusher. Again, it's another little fact. It's something you've put into the game which you could, riff off of later. So then you say roll some more features. Let's say we roll another 11. Where's number 11? Wrought iron torch sconces shaped like skeletal armor merged in the walls are set through the crypt. Several hold partially burnt torches, soot stain the wall behind the ceiling uh, above the sconces. You make a note of these, and what you can do is, as you've got a few, you start to build some mini tables, just say D6 tables, D4 tables, whatever, of a few of these details as you are starting to build up. So rather than rolling something completely random for every room and every chamber, what you do is you roll random stuff early on when effectively the catacomb or crypt is a blank canvas. Once you've set a few things in place, like its architectural style, the detailing, Once you've set that, what you can do is then make these little random tables. So everything from that point on becomes consistent. It's a consistent whole, despite the fact it was generated from random elements. We can skip these couple of tables and the map. So now you've got the sarcophagus dressing, and you can roll one of those as you when you find the uh, uh, the sarcophagus. And so let's imagine we rolled number 11 again, and we got a dozen rats who interred with the deceased. They fenced the corpse before turning on each other. Um, the inside sarcophagus is a carnal house, a jumble of bones and dry blood stains hint at the rat's fate. So that's again, it's a lot of detail in there, but you can then start to use a rat motif going through. The next table was grave goods. And imagine we rolled an 11 again. The corpse wears mouldering clothes of fine cut and make. The clothes are worthless, but their buttons are solid gold worth a gold piece each. Uh, some more details. And as you go through your crypt or your catacomb, you can roll a few of these, build those little tables, and then it all becomes consistent. And you didn't have to really think of anything except pick out the bits you liked. So that's kind of it. That's the tip of today. Now this is Raging Swan's book, but you can pick up these you know random tables, dungeon dressing tables from lots of different places, and you can mix and match them. You don't have to use one. You can actually pick them up for maybe $1 or $2 each. But if you're say going into a crypt, then buy a few crypty ones. If you're going through a castle, buy a few castle ones, and they add so much richness to your locations and your games that it really is worth it. And of course, you can reuse the random tables again and again. Okay, so that's it. That's the tip for today. Thank you for watching.